evening, sir.
Good evening, and I'm so sorry. We are here for discussing Moonstar Company, a question that is from the exam kit, but which is based on a technical article. Now, this question is very different from anything that you have seen so far. ठीक है. Why? Because यहाँ पे they have discussed a concept called securitization, and that is not something, which has been discussed yet. So that is the first thing. Now, the thing about this question is ki, see, ACCA once in a while ends up testing you on certain questions from the technical articles. Now, are all technical articles important? The answer is no, not all technical articles are important because usme se na more than half of them we actually cover when we are basically going through the syllabus. जैसे there is a technical article on how to deal with a question on interest rate risk. अब we have our own way of dealing with that particular topic, right? हमने हमारे steps बनाए हैं and we basically go with that. So I would never say कि go through that particular topic in the uh, मतलब through the technical articles because their steps are different, our steps are different. So it will unnecessarily create a confusion. But certain technical articles, like this one, ये जो securitization वाला है, this is not something that has been covered extensively in the syllabus. ठीक है? So it is critical that we pay attention to this in as much detail as possible. The question is Moonstar Company. It is a question from the exam kit. Tell me one thing. How many of you have read the question? Honestly, batana, I'm not going to scold or anything. Just one. Huh. How many of you have not read the question? Raise your hand. I'll give you 5 minutes to read. It's okay. Raise your hands. Has everyone read Moonstar Company? Okay, then I will proceed. Chalo, let's come here. Shashank, read the requirement first.
Yes, sir. Calculate the amount in dollar which each of the tranche can expect to receive from the securitization arrangement proposed by the non-executive director and discuss how the variability in rental income affects the return from the securitization. Discuss the benefit and risk from Moonstar Company associated with the securitization arrangement that the non-executive director has proposed. Discuss whether a Mudaraba contract would be an appropriate method of financing the investment and discuss why the bank may have concern about providing finance by this method.
ठीक है. Now this is the Islamic finance wala part जिसका video by the way I have shared with you today. ठीक है. Now let's read this. आदित्य पढ़ो इसको.
Moonstar Company is a property development company which is planning to undertake a $200 million commercial property development. Moonstar Company has had some difficulties over the last few years, with some developments not generating the expected returns, and the company has at times struggled to pay its finance cost. As a result, Moonstar's company's credit rating has been lowered, affecting the terms it can obtain for bank finance. Although Moonstar Company is listed on its local stock exchange, 75% of the share capital is held by the members of the family who founded the company. The family members who are shareholders do not wish to subscribe for a right issue and are unwilling to dilute their control over the company by authorizing a new issue of equity shares. Moonstar's company's board is therefore considering other methods of financing the development, which the directors believe will generate higher returns than other recent investments, as the country where Moonstar company is based appears to be emerging from recession. Securitization proposal. One of the non-executive directors of Moonstar company has proposed that it should raise funds by means of securitization process, transferring the rights to the rental income from the commercial property development to a special purpose vehicle. Her proposal assumes that the lease will generate an income of 11% per year to Moonstar company over a 10-year period. She proposes that Moonstar company should use 90% of the value of the investment for a collateralized loan obligation, which should be structured as follows: 60% of the collateral value to support a tranche of a A-rated floating rate loan notes offering investors base rate plus 150 basis points, 15% of the collateral value to support a tranche of B-rated fixed rate loan notes offering investors 12%, 15% of the collateral value to support a tranche of C-rated fixed rate loan note offering investors 13%, 10% of the collateral value to support a tranche as subordinate certificates, with the return being the excess of receipts over payments from the securitization process. The non-executive directors believes that there will be sufficient demand for all tranches of the loan notes from investors. Investors will expect that the income streams from the development to be low risk, as they will expect the property market to improve with the recession coming to an end and enough potential lesses to be attracted by the new development. The non-executive director predicts that there would be an annual cost of $200,000 in administering the loan. She acknowledges that there would be interest rate risks associated with the proposal and proposes a fixed for variable interest rate swap on a A-rated floating rate notes exchanging base rates for 9.5%. However, the finance director believes that the prediction of the income from the development that the non-executive director has made is optimistic. He believes that it is more likely that the total value of the rental income will be 5% lower than the non-executive director has forecast. He believes that there is some risk that the returns could be so low as to jeopardize the income for the C-rated fixed rate note holders. Islamic finance. Moonstar's company's chair has pointed out that a major bank in the country where Moonstar company is located has begun to offer a range of Islamic financial products. The chair has suggested that a Mudaraba contract would be the most appropriate method of providing the funds required for the investment.
Okay. Now, ये वाला part तो चलो Islamic finance is not relevant. Now, this is a question. If something like this comes in the paper, naturally, I'm sure you would be a little surprised because securitization as a concept is not specifically covered anywhere in the study text or study hub in that much level of detail. Now, let's understand the basic idea behind securitization. I will give you notes also for that. Now, let's say, acha, first of all, where does the idea of securitization come from? First of all, banks give loans, which could be, car loans, credit cards, or housing loans, and these loans are assets for the bank because they generate future cash, right? Future economic benefits are going to be generated by these loans, and these are assets for the bank. But see, it will take years for the loan that you have given to get realized, because see, term loans are given for 5 years or more, or vehicle loans are for 5 years or more, housing loans are for 20 years, for example. And एक तो the cash collection is slower, banks are facing an outflow today, but inflow is happening over a period of 20 years, and of course there is a certain amount of risk involved here. Why would I say that there is a certain amount of risk? Because वो collection होने में, see, no one knows now what is going to happen over a 20-year period, right? 20 years में क्या होगा? You have no idea what is going to happen in the next 20 days. So waiting for someone to repay the amount over a period of 20 years, over a time span of 20 years, is going to be a difficult task for you. And what if the person conks off or something goes wrong with that individual? Your money is lost, right? So banks are constantly under this pressure that although they have given loans and they have, on the face of it, they have created some assets. ठीक है कि to the world they can show that yes, देखो हमारा loan portfolio, for example, is worth say 200 crores. But the sad reality of the situation is कि यार पैसा अभी नहीं मिलने वाला है. The money will take a lot of time to get collected. Point one. And waiting for so many years to get one payment is going to be risky. You never know yaar what happens in the future. So what banks do is these future loan payments, they try to convert them into cash today. So what they do is it is an asset for me. Say for example, I have this phone and I need cash. I can sell the phone to you because this phone will provide the same utility to you that it provides to me. मैंने phone आपको भेज दिया and you then use that phone and I get immediate cash. Think about say maybe a situation of inventory. मेरे पास बहुत सारा stock पड़ा है. Or think about debtors. I think in debtors we did discuss the concept of factoring and invoice discounting, right? मतलब skill level में we have discussed that particular concept. What happens is you have a long list of debtors, and it is going to be quite an uphill task to collect cash from all of these debtors. So what you do is you outsource the collection activity to an outsider. Sometimes what you also do is you don't outsource the collection activity. What you do is you tell someone कि यार you take over all my debtors. You follow up with these debtors over the rest of their lives. You collect the money. Whatever money is earned in the process, that money belongs to you. But हमें अभी पैसा दे दो. The other person will typically think कि यार देखो if I am buying debtors worth 100, there is a possibility that kuch 10 rupees worth of debtors might not pay him. Plus, I am giving him the cash right now. I am also facing certain risks there because, who knows kab paisa collect hoga. So, what a factor does is he takes over your entire debtors ledger and then he says ki dekho, against this 100 rupees, I am giving you 85 rupees. You transfer the ownership of assets to the other person. So, effectively, what you have done is you have converted your debtors, which were receivables for you. Okay, you have converted them into cash immediately. है ना? And that way your requirement of working capital gets satisfied, and then you can focus on your main business activity. What banks do is think about it like, say I have one loan of 100, another loan of 70, one loan of 30, one loan of 120, one loan of 80. So बहुत सारे अलग अलग loans है जो अभी चल रहे हैं. ठीक है. Now I find it difficult to sell or transfer these loans to someone because people are like, you know what, I don't want to buy a loan worth 75. I am only willing to pay 50. अब 50 वाला तो कोई लोन है ही नहीं. Or you could also think about a situation कि यार देखो, people are okay to buy your debtors, but they are not willing to basically share that much risk in one go. So what you can do in this situation is think of a big box. ठीक है. उस box में everybody has put in एक piece of paper पे you write the amount that is receivable from Aditya, receivable from Shashank, receivable from someone. You put it together in one box. ठीक है. And what you do is now you एक इस पे 100 रुपीज लिखा है, इस पे 70 रुपीज लिखा है, एक इस पे 80 रुपीज लिखा है. डिफरेंट अमाउंट्स आर रिटन ऑन डिफरेंट शीट्स ऑफ पेपर. यू पुट देम टुगेदर इन वन. थिंक अबाउट इट लाइक सपोज मेरे पास गोल्ड ऑर्नामेंट है. आई हैव 7 ग्राम का ऑर्नामेंट, साक्षी हैज 20 ग्राम्स का ऑर्नामेंट, शॉन हैज 50 ग्राम्स का ऑर्नामेंट, somebody has 100 grams का ornament. Now we want to sell this amount to outsiders, but यार people are only willing to buy in lots of 10 grams. ठीक है. तो हमने क्या किया? What we did was we put all our gold into one big pot. We melted the gold. ठीक है. वो gold को melt कर दिया. And now we converted that into छोटा छोटा bricks of 10 grams each. ठीक है. We converted that into छोटा छोटा bricks of 10 grams each. Now people who want to buy one brick of gold, what they have to do is they have to buy 10 grams of gold from you. ठीक है. So now आपको ऐसा नहीं करना है ये 7 ग्राम और इसमें से 3 ग्राम काट के रखो. यू डोंट हैव टू डू दैट. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज you simply have to sell them one small brick. It is now converted into a standard size. So what you did with gold, you picked up gold of different values. ठीक है. You picked up gold of different values and different weights. You put them together in a pot. You melted all the gold, and now you are selling छोटा छोटा bricks of 10 grams to individuals who want to buy that gold from you. Similarly, think about putting all the debtors in one box. ठीक है. And like you converted different gold weights into small bricks of 10 grams, similarly you converted total debtors of 100 crores into small securities of 5,000 each. So if somebody wants to buy your debtors, see, I want to buy your debtors, but I'm not willing to buy one debtor worth 7 crore 36 lakhs and give you an advance against that particular amount. I would much rather buy a security or I would much rather buy something worth 5,000 from you. ठीक है. So what happens is you have converted all these different debtors into, you put them together in one place, you mix them up like you melted all the gold, and now you have converted these into smaller securities of 5,000 each. So if somebody wants to buy your debtors, all they have to do is, just say you buy one FD worth 5,000 by paying 5,000 rupees. Similarly, you can take over that debtor from the company, but now you are not buying one individual debtor. All of these debtors were converted into smaller securities of 5,000 each or 10,000 each or something like that. This process where an existing debt was converted into securities. ठीक है. This process is called securitization. ठीक है. Now when we say securitization, to convert something in the form of securities is securitization. आपके पास क्या था? You had a whole lot of debtors of varying amounts. You converted all of those debtors into securities, and now how are you? See, otherwise you would have gone to a factor, or you would have gone to you would have done invoice discounting and taken that money from the bank. Here what you have done is you are selling that in the open market. ठीक है. आप ओपन मार्केट में उसको बेच के यू आर रिकवरिंग मनी फ्रॉम योर डेटर्स. दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड सिक्योरिटाइजेशन. नाउ ये आपने इसको you converted that into these chota chota 5,000 ka securities and you sold it in the open market. Think, huh? Understand what banks are doing in this process. Earlier, banks had given loans of 100 crores. ठीक है. 100 crore के debtors थे, 100 crore के loans receivable थे for the bank. Now what the bank felt was कि यार, it will take 20 years to recover all the 100 crores. Banks converted that 100 crores into smaller securities of 10,000 each. They sold these securities in the market. These debtors got offloaded from their balance sheet in a certain way, और उनके पास against that 100 crores they would have received money over a span of 20 years. उनको अभी after 15 days only they got 85 crores cash. अब 85 crores cash आया. That cash was again lent to some other borrowers. Again there was a whole list of loans receivable or debtors that was created. Again the bank did the same process, converted them into smaller securities and sold it off. अब as an idea this sounds very fascinating ना, but see, ideally what is the bank doing? वही 100 crores को, डोंट यू थिंक बैंक सेम क्रेडिट को रिसाइकल करके बैंक इज गिविंग मोर क्रेडिट? पहले 100 crores दिया, वो 100 crores लोन्स रिसीवेबल को बेचा, you got 85 crores against that, you use that cash to give further loans. Now these same loans receivable you are again converting into cash by way of securitization. As long as everybody in the chain is paying, it's okay. But the moment one person fails to pay, it's like, वो domino effects, everything else will fall. One card falls and the entire, that, cards ka bungalow that you have created, that entire thing comes crashing down. So this, in a way, in very simple sense, this was what happened in the United States of America in 2008 when the subprime crisis affected the US real estate markets. ठीक है. And then of course, see, क्या होता है? If the bank, see, this primarily starts with the bank. Bank sells its debtors or its loans receivable to someone and it collects cash and then it keeps on recycling the same cash को 10 बार लोगों को लोन देने में यूज हो रहा है. Now, because the banks are worried, what the banks will do is, see, banks also have a target. They want to grow their business. So even if, for example, Shashank does not have the credit worthiness, उसका सिबिल स्कोर कम है, बैंक tells him कि चल भाई तू लोन ले, promise me that you will repay the amount. Shashank is like, fine, दे दूंगा पैसा तुमको तुम्हारा. But Shashank does not have a very high credit rating right now. Shashank's credit rating is low. So there is a very high possibility that Shashank will default on the loan. अब ऐसे loans के case में ideally the bank should take a higher security. ठीक है. The bank should take a security which is of a higher value. But because the bank also had a target of achieving certain sales, ₹100 का सिक्योरिटी लेना था, बैंक गेव हिम द लोन बाय टेकिंग अ सिक्योरिटी ऑफ ₹40 ओनली. अब इफ शशांक फेल्स टू रीपे, see if Shashank normally fails to repay, बैंक क्या करेगा, whatever property is kept as mortgage, बैंक उसको बेचेगा, वो पैसा रख, and it will use that money to fulfill the obligation. यहाँ पे शशांक को लोन दिया 100 का, but the security is only worth 40. अब वो सिक्योरिटी आपने बेचा, आपको ₹40 मिला. So when I say subprime crisis, what that means is the quality of loans was lower, the quality of borrowers was lower, but still high value loans against inadequate securities were given. And naturally yaar, if he is unable to repay, bank will sell the property, bank ko milega sirf 40. And when bank gets only 40, naturally everybody else in the entire cycle gets affected. A lot of times banks also take insurance cover. कि यार, tomorrow if one of my borrowers fails to repay, I need an insurance cover to protect my position. Fine, great, nothing like it. But imagine if 100 such borrowers default, the insurance company के पास इतना cash कहाँ से आएगा, right? So it's like a loop which starts, it's a vicious cycle. Once it starts in the market, everything else comes crashing down. तो ये जो securities that we created, these are called collateralized debt obligations. What are they called? Collateralized debt obligations. And when they do not fulfill the role that they are supposed to fulfill, they are called toxic assets. What do you understand by the word toxic? Why are you laughing? Aditya, are you toxic?
No, sir.
No. Shashank, can you tell us what is toxic?
Yes, परेशानी, लोगों को परेशान करना, या तो फिर एक ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करना जो सब इरिटेट हो जाए.
Okay. So basically not doing what you are supposed to do, and I don't know what all you guys call gaslighting, पता नहीं आप क्या क्या बोलते हो उसको. Anyway, who is a toxic person? A person who makes life difficult for you, right? So what is a toxic asset? आपके बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में तो है, बट इट इज नॉट जनरेटिंग इनफ कैश फॉर यू, राइट? पड़ा है, ना इंटरेस्ट जनरेट करता है, ना प्रिंसिपल रीपेमेंट देता है, कुछ नहीं करता. जैसे दिस पर्सन फॉर एग्जाम्पल इज टॉक्सिक, शशांक. दैट पर्सन इज नॉट performing the role that the person is supposed to perform, and as you said, is giving you headache. These toxic assets are also doing that. So another word for toxic assets is non-performing assets or NPAs. ठीक है. अब जब ये एनपीएस का प्रोपोर्शन इंक्रीजेस, नेचुरली द बैंक्स आर अफेक्टेड, एंड फिर रिजर्व बैंक उनकी खबर लेता है इन नॉर्मल सर्कमस्टांसेस. नाउ लेट्स गेट यू familiarized विद द आइडिया ऑफ ट्रांचेस. ठीक है. अब यार मेरा ड्राइंग तो अच्छा नहीं है, बट लेट मी सी. ठीक है. ये बकेट है, हाँ? ये दूसरा, ये तीसरा. नाउ लेट मी शो यू. They are using the word waterfall ना, देखो ऐसे. How will the water flow like this? Cash from borrowers flows downwards. The borrower takes the money, he gives it to a construction company. The construction company uses that money, constructs the house, hands over the house to him. Now, whenever you have a lot of debtors, ठीक है, अब वो debtors can be of different categories ना. There could be good debtors, there would be semi-performing debtors, there would be non-performing debtors. Debtors would be of different categories, so to say. Now, here, what happens is, see, when we use the word tranche, Tranch, a very simple, although not a very, मतलब 100% similar meaning नहीं है, but think of tranche as an installment. ठीक है. When I say senior tranche, that means those people have to be, that installment has to be paid first, then junior tranche, then junior, so that way you are going down. Whenever we use the word tranche, what it means is installment in very very simple terms. There are other nuances also in meaning, but the word tranche basically means installments. When I say senior tranche, that means these are people whose debt obligations have to be fulfilled first, then there is a word called mezzanine tranche. Think of it as a mid-level tranche and then lower tranche. See, if you ever go to a hotel, जहाँ पे शादियाँ वादियाँ होती है, there is the ground floor, then there is the first floor. बीच में there is this space, where the waiters and all of these people, they keep trays and all, and जहाँ पे they store things and bring things out and all of that. That floor is called the mezzanine floor. So it is the connecting floor between ground floor and first floor, one connecting stage. Similarly, mezzanine tranche basically means that stage in between where you are not the junior most tranche, neither are you the senior most or the top priority tranche. Okay. Now the reason why invest, so what happens is, see, there is no there is no shortage of people who want to take risk and invest, in these kind of securitized instruments. Now, I would find it very difficult to invest in some companies' debtors. Just say, for example, think ki I have 100 students, I have 15,000 collectible from each one. I have 15,000 collectible from each one. And then I don't have the time to follow up with them. So I ask someone else to take over these debtors, and that person keeps, and then he converts these into securities. Now the problem is, usko to 5,000 ka security dikh raha hai, but you know how difficult it is to follow up with so many students and make sure that they pay. That piece of paper has value only if you people are paying. Now, if students are not paying them, that piece of paper doesn't have that value. Okay. So it's not something, which, see, I might get quick cash, but when you are investing in my debtors, when you are buying my debtors in this form, I think somewhere it will impact, it will impact your financial statements because the risk is huge. Are you with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Yes, no, I don't care. कुछ तो बोलो.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
आप लोग खाना खा के आए ना क्लास में? Full ready to sleep, I think. I don't eat because then I will fall asleep. आदित्य खाना नहीं खाया?
No, sir.
वेरी गुड. चलो अभी इधर ध्यान दो. Moonstar Company is a property development company which is planning to undertake a 200 million commercial property development. Moonstar Company has had some difficulties over the last few years with some developments not generating the expected returns, and the company has at times struggled to pay its finance cost. As a result, Moonstar Company's credit rating has been lowered, affecting the terms it can obtain for bank finance. Although Moonstar Company is listed on the stock exchange, 75% of the share capital is held by members of the family who founded the company. The family members who are shareholders do not wish to subscribe for a rights issue. So, उनको rights issue नहीं चाहिए because they don't want to invest more money, but they are unwilling to dilute their control over the company by authorizing a new issue of shares. See, 75% of the capital is held by family members. So if you want to make a fresh issue of shares, you will need approval of these shareholders, right? They own three-fourth of the share. They are three-fourth owners in the company. They don't want to give more money to the company by way of rights issue, and they don't want the company to raise more money from the public also. तो कंपनी अटक गई है. Moonstar Company's board is therefore considering other methods of financing the development, which the directors believe will generate higher returns than other recent investments, as the country where Moonstar Company is based appears to be emerging from recession. One of the non-executive directors of Moonstar has proposed that it should raise funds by means of a securitization process, transferring the rights to rental income from commercial property development to a special purpose vehicle. Her proposals assume that the leases will generate an income of 11% per year to Moonstar over a 10-year period. Now, basically, what we are trying to say is that the company has a commercial property. Okay. Now, this commercial property that the company has, it will generate rental income from that particular property. So they are saying कि it will give a rental yield of 11%. So let's transfer the right to receive that money to someone else and get the money in advance. ठीक है. She proposes that Moonstar Company should use 90% of the value of the investment for a collateralized debt obligation, which should be structured as follows: highest rated loan notes, B rated loan notes, C rated loan notes, and subordinated certificates. ठीक है. Now, Moonstar company wants to finance a 200 million commercial property project. They can't raise the money from equity because of the family control issue. They can't raise money by way of bank loans because their credit rating is poor. So what the non-executive director has suggested is that use future rental income from the project to back loan notes. See, tranches are different categories of loan investors. Okay. So what they are saying is rental income se jo raise the money by way of loan and give them some sort of a backing, some sort of a support or security in a certain sense कि देखो तुम्हारा जो पैसा है, the installments that we are supposed to pay you, this particular property, whatever rental income it generates, we will use that rental income to pay you. They are asking, calculate the amount each tranche receives and comment on how rental income variability affects them. ठीक है. अब what they are saying is 60% of the collateral value to support a tranche of A-rated floating rate loan notes offering investors base rate plus 150 basis points, 15% of the collateral value to support a tranche of B-rated fixed rate loan notes offering investors 12%. So जो total value है, so what is the project value? The project value is 200 million. And what is the director saying? She is saying use 90% of the value of the investment for a collateralized loan obligation. ठीक है. Project value 200 million. ठीक है. What you are saying is 90% of the project is going to be you will raise a loan of 180 million which is backed by collateral. Collateral matlab it's like a security, something that you are giving. Say I want an immediate loan of 50,000 from Aditya. I'm like Aditya ये phone रखो and मुझे 50,000 दे दो. ठीक है, this phone is worth 50,000. So he is okay to give me a loan by accepting this as a security. So this is a collateral. यहाँ पे what we are saying is that the rental income coming from this property is going to be the collateral. ठीक है. A-rated tranche 60% of the collateral value to support a tranche of A-rated floating rate loan notes offering investors base rate plus 150 basis points. 180 का 60% is 108 million. Pay floating rate base rate plus 1.5%. बी रेटेड ट्रांच का 15% of the collateral value, 180 का 15%, 27 million, pay fixed interest of 12%. C rated tranche is again 15%, 180 million का 15% is 27 million, pays fixed 13%. ठीक है. Subordinated certificates 60 हो गया, 15 हो गया, 15 हो गया, that is 90. 10% of the collateral value to support a tranche as subordinated certificates. मतलब एकदम जो भी बचा कुचा रेंटल इनकम होगा. So what they are saying is with the return being the excess of receipt over payment from securitization process. Basically, whatever is left will go to satisfy the obligation towards this particular loan. तो आप A rated loan कितना उठाएंगे? You will take A rated loan of 108 million, highest rated loan. B rated loan 27 million, C rated loan 27 million, subordinated certificates 18 million. So total is how much? 180 million. अब rental income कितना मिलने वाला है आपको? Rental income that you will get is यहाँ पे they have written it will be 11%, right? 11% will be the amount of rental income. 200 million का property, 11% का rental yield. So how much will you receive? You will receive 22 million का rental income per year. ठीक है. Now एक बार read these two paragraphs. Just read it carefully. The non-executive director predicts that there would be annual cost of 2 lakh in administering the loan. She acknowledges that there would be interest rate risk associated with the proposal. She proposes a fixed for variable interest rate swap on the A-rated floating rate exchange notes, exchanging base rate for 9.5. इस पे बाद में आते हैं. What this person is saying is that loan servicing cost will be 2 lakh. So 22 million minus 0.2 million कितना होगा? 21.8 million. ठीक है. Now the finance director believes that prediction of income from the development that non-executive director has made is over optimistic. He believes that it is most likely that the total value of rental income will be 5% lower than what the finance director, non-executive director has forecast. finance director, non-executive director said 11% rental income होगा on 200 million, which is 22 million. This person thinks कि यार उससे 5% less होगा, so that will be 20.9 million. So after deducting service charge, how much will be the amount? The amount will be 20.7 million. अब देखो, ए रेटेड लोन नोट जो था, इट वॉज 108 मिलियन का बोरोइंग। इस पे इंटरेस्ट कितना पे करना है? बेस रेट प्लस 1.5%। बेस रेट कितना है? बेस रेट इज 9.5%। 9.5 प्लस 1.5 इज हाउ मच? 11%। 108 मिलियन इंटू 11%, 11.88 मिलियन। कितना पे करना है आपको? यू हैव टू पे देम 11.88 मिलियन। बी रेटेड लोन नोट को कितना पे करना है? 12%। बी रेटेड लोन नोट का अमाउंट इज 27 मिलियन। 27 इंटू 12% हो जाएगा 3.24। दिस इज द इंटरेस्ट दैट यू हैव टू पे। देन सी रेटेड कैटेगरी का कितना है? सी रेटेड कैटेगरी 13% का इंटरेस्ट देना है इनको। सो 27 मिलियन इंटू 13%, 3.5 ठीक है। सो 11.88 प्लस 3.24 प्लस 3.51 कितना हो गया? 18.63। सबऑर्डिनेटेड कैटेगरी जो है 10% ऑफ कोलैटरल वैल्यू, और रेसिडुअल इंटरेस्ट शुड गो टू देम। सो while your total rental income is 21.8, उसमें से you subtract 18.63, you will be left with 3.37। या फिर this is the second situation where what you are doing is you are comparing ये जो 20.9 का रेंटल इनकम है माइनस 18.63, they will end up getting 2.27। what had they asked you? Calculate the amounts in dollar which each of the tranches can expect to receive from securitization arrangement proposed by non-executive director, and discuss how the variability in rental income affects the returns from the securitization. If the rental income is not 21.8 but it is 20.7, so naturally the value will change। ठीक है। सो ऐसे देखा जाए ना तो दिस क्वेश्चन हैज गॉट वेरी लिटिल टू डू विद द टेक्निकल पार्ट ऑफ कोलैटरलाइजेशन, बट कॉन्सेप्ट नया था। दिस वाज नॉट समथिंग दैट यू यूजुअली एक्सपेक्ट और यू can see in any of these discussions, which is why I thought that doing this question will give you an idea of how that affects the overall calculation। ठीक है, एक बार ऊपर से देखिए।
Yes, sir.
ठीक है।
फिर ये बेस रेट कैसे डिसाइड किया?
अरे डिसाइड कहाँ से किया? इधर दिया है ना क्वेश्चन में।
यस सर, यस सर, मिल गया मिल गया।
हाँ,
9.5 billion.
डिसाइड मतलब यार मैं घर से थोड़ी लाऊंगा भाई।
So can you scroll down?
Of course. ये इंटरेस्ट रेट रिस्क वाला पार्ट है, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट, जस्ट फोकस ऑन सिक्योरिटाइजेशन इन दिस वन.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Benefits and risks for Moonstar company associated with securitization and ये मुदरबा contract, that Islamic finance part. Theory you have to quote. You will be able to answer that question only if you have gone through the Islamic finance wala video that I have posted and sent it to you today, by the way. देखा आप लोगों ने? देखते हो आप लोग कि टाइम पास? Do you watch the videos that I send?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because वो सब ना, it's very straightforward theory. उसमें there is nothing great or nothing that is going to happen in the paper. एकदम word for word आता है, 4 marks 5 marks or something like that, and you don't want to lose marks in that process, right? तो उसमें प्लीज टाइम वेस्ट मत करना, जो बोलता हूँ वो देख लिया करो. ठीक है. यस सहर.
सर आप अगर ब्रॉडकास्ट पे कुछ भेज रहे हो तो आई एम नॉट रिसीविंग इट.
आप लास्ट क्वार्टर के ब्रॉडकास्ट में थे ना, सेम ही रहता है, कुछ नहीं बदलता.
नथिंग न्यू यू आर सेंडिंग.
व्हाट न्यू विल आई सेंड इन एफएम?
नो लाइक अगर आप कोई क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस या टेस्ट वगैरह भेज रहे हो तो.
सब सेम है, कुछ अलग नहीं है. टेस्ट भी सेम ही होंगे इस क्वार्टर, डोंट वरी.
ओके.
ठीक है. Benefits and risks I have put there. Go through that carefully. The reason for taking up this question was it is different from anything that we have seen so far. ठीक है. So एक बार repeat करना. This video will go on the channel, so don't worry about it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
One thing.